Welcome back, guys, to Yongsan Seoul, South Korea. Right now, the KT Bullets are one game up on SK Telecom, our defending champions from Summer Champions. We really need a different name for the tournament, don't we? Oh, well. But, yeah, they're a game up. They looked absolutely terrifying. SK Telecom even got a lead in game number 1 and then just weren't able to keep up with the really good tactics, the good decision-making, the objective control from KT. And Ryu, he's actually nodding off, isn't he? I think we're going to need to start hashtagging things Ryu does as sleeps during a best of 5 to decide if you go to the World Championships. Ryu does.
He's so nonplussed. And there's Mandu as well. A little bit of a rough time. Had a great early game. So I want to talk for a minute. We talked a little bit about the Magic Pen onto Corky during the game, but I did some digging during the little break right there to see if I get some more information. Masteries ran for double penetration in Masteries, not in runes though, so no hybrid pen runes, but did go for both Magic and Armor Pen in the offensive Mastery tree. So he had that 8% Mastery right there, or 8% Magic Pen, as well as the flat 15 from the Sork Shoes. And that makes his Valkyrie, his rockets, his P-Bomb do just a little bit more damage. And since
Wake up, Ryu.
With the current Trinity Force build, when he's getting Trinity Force into Last Whisper, he's really going for a more bursty style of AD carry. Pretty cool way to build Corky.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, one of my favorite things, though, is AP tank Corky and ARAMs. I'm telling you, if you get Corky and ARAMs, just go AP. Valk over the top of the enemy team, it's hilarious. You will die, but it's very fun.
Yeah, that ability does have a 1.0 AP ratio.
It's actually insane, yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into this game. We see the Fizz ban coming out. And look at that. Corky dropped off, too, by SK Telecom.
It's a good choice. That's a really good choice.
Zed, Shen, those big playmakers coming out now. They don't want SK Telecom to have those. They leave Ari up.
Yeah.
And taking the Caitlyn away in the first rotation as well. So
that's good, too.
Smart strategy right there. If you're not going to first pick that Caitlyn, they'll just snap it up.
Yep.
And that may force another Vayne pickup from SKT. Well, it'd be interesting. Nami going back to his Mandu going back to his Nami roots here, perhaps. But
his Nami is very good, but it looks like he may decide to go for Sona instead. Without that Caitlyn, Nami isn't quite as effective.
Right, and we have seen Mandu heavily favor Sona and Zyra after playing nearly every game in the Champions Summer season before the playoffs with that Nami, but it's coming back here again. So SK Telecom going back a little bit in time here.
Yeah. And Ryu, is he going to get his Gragas?
It wouldn't surprise me for them to go Lee Sin Gragas here.
Yeah.
And just roll with the fast push composition.
Could also see them save that mid pick for last as well, too. We'll see. Ziggs appeared for a second, and Monte Cristo's body, his entire body just clenched. He's like, no! It's okay. All right.
I dodged that bullet.
I guess so. Are we going to see possibly a top lane insect Lee Sin? I was going to say, waiting if that Evelyn was picked up from the jungle, but this is interesting.
Yeah.
Ryu playing games with our hearts.
I think it's really just going to be that Gragas pick.
I think so, too.
He drew so many bans after he dominated the first couple games of the finals with it. It's been a very effective champion for him, and it's a pretty nice addition to a Caitlyn fast push strategy again.
Yeah.
The KT Bullets use this Gragas pick to knock people off towers to increase their siege potential, and they'll go ahead and use that explosive cast just to push you further back so you can't defend your turrets, while Caitlyn will just whittle them down with auto attacks.
Well, if Ryu felt emotion, I would say is probably pretty happy about that Gragas pickup, but that's obviously not the case.
Well,
so
if he's even awake right now.
That's right, yeah. Ryu's family evolved long ago to disconnect themselves from emotions. It's a strength when you're a pro gamer, I guess. Vayne and Jarvan, the final two pickups for SK Telecom, so we'll be that Vayne again for Piglet. And there's Zach locked in.
It's back.
He's back.
The Zach is back.
The Zach attack.
So Insect returning to this. Now he's had lots of opportunities to pick up Zach on his matches this week at 3.10A. And remember, the nerfs to Zach, no more tenacity during Let's Bounce. And it's a lot harder, actually, to pick up those blobs in lane than it used to be. So we saw it fall off, and Insec has had every opportunity to play this top lane champion that he's been so dominant on. And they're switching over to Lee Sin. Kakao may be taking that Zach in the jungle, actually.
Oh, okay. And wow, jungle Zach, we haven't seen that for a long time. They're swapping back and forth, trying to put on a show for the fans, but you just have to hear it from us. Just take our word for it. We just don't see a lot of Zach jungle anymore because he requires a lot of farm. And normally Korean teams don't want to give their junglers that much farm at this point.
Indeed. True statement, but and we also saw Insec play that top lane Lee Sin against Flame from CJ Blaze, but
well, there it is.
It wasn't the most effective champion selection ever.
No, not really. In the top lane, Elise played by Impact. Insec on Zach in the jungle, Kakao on Lee Sin, Bengi on Jarvan the fourth, down in the mid lane, Faker on Ari, that's exciting, and Ryu on Gragas, what a great matchup in the mid lane, and AD carry, Score on Caitlyn, Piglet on Vayne, and finally at support, Mappa on Zyra, and Pumandu on his favorite Nami. And here we go, guys, game number 2, SKT's chance to tie it up, or will KT put themselves one game away from a win? Let's find out. Set 2, SK Telecom versus the KT Rolster Bullets here on OGN, the final match to decide who goes to the League of Legends Season 3 World Championships. KT Rolster B with a 1-game lead, but we saw them go up 2 games and still lose a best of 5 in the Champion Summer Finals last week. So anything is possible coming to this game too.
And this is the first time actually in a while that we've seen Elise run in the top lane here in Korea. Typically a jungle pickup these days, and Impact playing very aggressively at first, starting out with that Doran's Ring, trying to put a lot of early harass down onto Insec here and keep him from pushing, because the way that Insec has played Zach is he doesn't really trade. He instead just uses his wave clear to aggressively push up the turret and allow the minions to deal a ton of damage to the tower and wear it away over time. Right. And he'll just let his enemy laner hit him all day, and he'll just pick up the chunks and use that sustain from the Doran's shield in order to continue to stay in lane and continue to put that pressure down.
Yep.
That's right. And the man here to watch too, Noah, is going to be Bengi, because when you have Insec playing Zach in the top lane and you have him mercilessly pushing, and you have the KT Bullets with Caitlyn, Zyra, who are also going to be mercilessly pushing. It puts a lot of pressure on the jungler to decide where to go, and those ganks really count.
That was Insect's parents on the screen just a moment ago. And his dad especially has been to a lot of matches recently, a lot of support there. Oh, Piglet, maybe in a little bit of trouble. There's the Q, he dodges, very nice. Peacemaker takes a little chunk out of him. Meanwhile, we've got a 1v1, Ryu versus Faker, down in the river, and they're actually going to fight. Oh, actually, Impact right there. There's the Ignite going down on Ryu. He flashes. Will it be enough? A flash from Impact. Went the wrong way. Can they catch him? Oh, Charm misses. Oh, man, so close. They got the flash, but a flash used by Faker as well, and no first blood yet.
And
2 flashes used by Impact.
SK Telecom,
SKT.
due to that nice trade they had with Ryu, is going to chase the Bullets off of their own red buff right there. Not going to take it, though. Impact just going to recall and head back to his own jungle. But a bit of a delay. There's actually, he got out just in time before Kakao could find him in that brush.
I like it when you started frantically pointing at your own screen. I don't think that's going to help Monte Cristo.
I get excited.
I can see it, but that's about it.
I get excited. Doa can tell you that during replays, I'm always like pointing at everything on the screen.
Makes it hard for me to say. He always puts his hand in front of me. Can't see the screen, man. All right, well, Insect down in that bot lane now. Really, when you think about it, Zach is kind of just like a more modern-day version of Mr. Potato Head, where, you know, really you can take chunks off him, rearrange it, make anything you want, but it's more than just his face that gets rearranged, it's his whole body, so I think it's got great potential as a children's toy, Demacia or something. They can make like smaller ones.
I like it.
Huge potential there.
It's also slightly disgusting, like Gak. So.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves Gak though.
Or silly putty.
Yeah, or putty. Oh, Score taking some damage. Nothing silly about that.
Interesting to see Score already down a little bit too. You can see Piglet hits level 3 faster because of that tussle in the jungle. Piglet peeled off very early on and headed to lane so he could get that experience advantage again.
Right.
So once again, Score and Mappa find themselves in a bit of a hole early on.
Whoa, Ryu gets hit with the charm. A lot of damage put on him by Faker. They need to be very careful about this.
Well, Doa, in terms of these compositions, and we've talked about this before, if you guys saw the finals last week, it's all about taking those turrets quickly, but Mandu and Piglet really holding their own up in that top lane, making it very difficult for Mappa and Score to put that pressure on with their longer range AD carry and support right there.
Oh yeah, and I mean, this is such an even matchup too in terms of the skill of these two bot lanes. Really, really cool. I mean, we knew the real tragedy here is that only one of these teams is going to make it to Worlds. I really feel like either one of them is easily caliber to do quite well at that tournament. And nice Aqua Prism hitting Mappa. Bengi coming in. Can they make first blood out of this? They get the flash. Bengi flashing as well. Mappa very low, but they decide to back off of it. No early dives.
That early decision, you know, you could really see the decision making from SK Telecom at that level 1. So they had every opportunity to go ahead and steal that red buff, but they didn't do it. Instead, they made a decision to put Piglet in lane early so that he could get this experience advantage. They say, well, we've delayed Lee Sin. We might as well just go take our own buffs. We feel we do not need to steal the red. Yeah. Instead, have Piglet go to lane faster, get that level advantage, make sure he can win the harassment, the dueling wars up there, and try and get that big CS lead again in a generally what we would consider a tough lane for Vayne Nami against Caitlyn Zyra. So I think that was a really smart plan by SK Telecom to make that decision.
Turned out to work quite well. But again, you know, we saw SKT get that lead in the early game last time around, and KT was able to bring it back. Insec may need to go on the run here. Oh, here comes Kakao as well. They catch Bengi, but Bengi getting out of there. There's a slingshot. Gets a double knockup. Insec coming in. There's this. Okay, there's the safeguard. I think they're going to get away, though. Yeah, getting under turret. Oh, Bengi very low. Kakao comes in. Oh, but first blood goes to Bengi. Nice play. Impact helping out. Bengi barely lives, and Insec may be in trouble now, too.
I'm not sure about sticking around right there. At least has that great execute with
so
the
dangerous.
venomous
There's
bite
the cocoon. Goodbye, Insec.
Oh, he takes it out.
I can't believe that. He must have just gotten tiny enough to fit through the spider's fingers. I think that's what happened there. Wow. That was insane.
But they blew a lot of summoner spells for that gank, though.
Yeah, they did.
Both flashes and the ignite, and dove a little bit too greedily.
Just like the dwarves of Moria, they delve too greedily and too deep.
Yeah, Ryu trying to make a play up in that top lane, but not going to happen right now. Score and Mappa continue to struggle up there. And Faker getting quite scary here in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, and we've seen what he does to Zyra's once he gets his Deathfire grasp.
That's right. You know, I honestly, Doa, I feel like picking Zyra against Ahri when Faker's playing Ahri is pretty much a death sentence. He is the nightmare of all plants.
Yeah. Oh, Score a little bit caught. Nice Aqua Prism for the follow-up. There's a barrier. Score, can he get away? There's the net. Exhaust on him as well. Piglet very low. Mappa, really a great duelist with Zyra. Mandu very low. There's the heal, a little bit of damage. Mandu has to flash, though, to dodge the Peacemaker. And close call. Wow, what a bot lane.
You can see the power of Zyra and why she's such a strong support pickup right now.
Yeah.
Because even though they had SK Telecom, the 100-acre lane, had that beautiful chain of CC going from the Condemned straight into the Aqua Prison and got a bunch of free autos from it, the fact that Mappa was sitting there setting up plants that were constantly attacking them while they autoed, and it ended up that the KT Bullets actually won that trade and got some pretty important summoners out of it as well.
Yeah. Still, man, the duels between the members of this team are just some of the best I've ever seen.
And Impact going for those spell pen boots, the Sork shoes early on, just trying to maximize his harass right here as Insect continues to shove up. But
He's got a bit of a CS lead, a little bit of one. No deaths. There's that 1 assist on impact as well, too, so the gold is going to be fairly even between the two of them.
But I got to say, Doa, the later this game goes, the KT Bullets, with their composition, they will have nice burst and a little bit of trading going on.
Yeah. Maffa getting very, very low. In fact, Maffa, they may get him. They do. And Piglet chasing score now. Piglet a bit low. There's the ebb and flow. Oh, Piglet so low. There's the barrier. Can he live? Tidal Wave has to be used, but the flash after the Tidal Wave helps Score get the kill. And he's not done yet. Meanwhile, Faker dueling Ryu in the jungle. Bengi coming in as well. Kakao there to protect. Oh, wow. Everybody's coming in with this on Spear Rush. Faker coming in onto Ryu. There's the safeguard. They do save him. Everyone needs to back off. In the top lane, Mondu did get away from Score.
Well, that was very nearly a win for SK Telecom, and the call was right. They managed to hit level 6 first, again from that little bit of an advantage they had in the early game in terms of Piglet having that final hour up, so they did attempt that all in, but Maffa landing his passive really turned that one around. Otherwise, Piglet may have been able to get out of it alive.
Yeah,
but the KT Bullets can't even contest this dragon right now. Insec not in a place where he's going to be able to do that. So if we look at the composition, though, from the KT Bullets, the late game may prove problematic for them. They've got that big burst from Gragas, but if they can weather that down, SK Telecom with the Ahri burst with DFG, coupled with the dueling potential of Elise and just the late game power of Vayne, it may be hard. KT Bullets needs to get more towers, more than 0 clearly, but they need to get more towers now because the long laning phase is only going to get SK Telecom. It's going to accelerate their power spike to some very important items, Blade and DFG, and once they get those, they're going to be able to duel absolutely everywhere.
It's condemned. Mondu very good with those ebbs and flows this game too. The W on Nami, chaining that heal over to the damage. Very good. Good stuff.
Well,
I approve.
It is one of his best champions. Before we got into the playoffs here, he had a 100% pick ban rate on Nami.
Yep. And a lot of those picks were wins.
Not playoffs, excuse me, the finals of champions.
Oh, Piglet just mercilessly going after Score. Now Kakao is coming up. There's the Aqua Prison. That's a long cooldown. There's the Tidal Wave. Bengi coming in. Gets a knock up. The Zyra ultimate defending as well. Score with that barrier again. Piglet coming down. Bengi on the run. Can they get any kills out of that? Piglet getting Maffa. Can he make it a double? No, not quite. Bengi is there. Oh, wow. He escapes. Very nice.
And a very twisted engagement.
Oh, Insec. What? Insec is just the king of living when you should not live.
Well, I'm sure Impact is a little bummed out by what's been happening in that lane. Nearly netting 2 kills for himself.
Yeah.
Not quite able to close him out, but Insec is slowly getting tankier with that Spirit Visage. But he's having a lot more trouble in lane than he normally does when he plays Zac. So I think the matchup a little rough for him in terms of the range poking potential of Elise, as well as the nerfs to Zac. A little harder to pick up those blobs, and you absolutely need them to sustain if you're going to be pushing as hard as Insec does on this champion.
Man, if someone said, what do you think is more likely, Insec dying in lane or Indiana Jones dying in one of his movies, I'd be like, well, I'm feeling a little bit worried for Indiana Jones right now.
Poor Indy.
That's right. Indy.
Okay, well, the turret damage finally coming in for the KT Bullets. They have stabilized in this lane. You see, too, that they managed to catch up in CS finally. So taking a bad situation early on and reversing it a little bit here and able to get that turret damage that he needed as well. But it's taken the Bullets a lot longer to do this than is optimal.
Should really make an Indiana Zac skin where he doesn't slingshot, he just like throws his whip and like swings around over the forest and stuff. That'd be great.
I think he's strange enough to belong in a museum, though, so.
So belongs in a museum. I'm sure after the match, his dad is going to congratulate him, and he's going to go, don't call me Junior. Oh, never mind, a fight. There's the Tidal Wave. Score a bit trapped here. I don't know if this is going to turn into anything, though. Yeah, a little bit over-eager. Piglet low. Oh, can they actually do it? There's a good positioning for the Zyra ult, but Piglet got a little bit too far away. Here come the junglers. Here comes Faker. Kakao right there. Nice knockup from Bengi. Kakao pushed out. Faker pushed out. There goes Mafa yet again. Piglet gets that kill, and now it's a 4-person push on that top lane turret.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy.
Oh, hello!
Mondu gets found.
Whoa.
Really died to that ignite, though. One more tick takes him out.
He dies, and that turret may not be long for this world either, although Score and Ryu coming in. Yeah, they should be able to clear that wave quite nicely, but the turret's still very low, and it will go down.
And that was a bit sloppy play calling there from the KT Bullets. With how far we saw Score and Mafa pushed up, and the fact that the turret was about to die for SK Telecom, the 4-man roam seemed like a likely strategic decision, and SK Telecom executes on it, picks up a kill and gets the turret, reverses that pressure, so doing work.
Insect still very low coming in. There's the safeguard, Kakao. Insect tried to slow him up. There's the Let's Bounce, gets cocooned, and Insect very low. Impact low as well. Can Ryu save him? There's the repel. Waiting for the spider to come down. They pop the Zac passive. Piglet coming down. There's a lot of damage there. They should be able to get Insect. They do. That didn't work out for KT, not at all.
Well, there's a great instance of what those Zac nerfs did. He got tied up by the cocoon right there for just a little bit too long.
Yep.
And that probably would have made all the difference there in terms of a kill in lane.
I agree. And, after something like that, will we see the Zac pick again in the near future? Whoa, that really looked like that connected, but I guess not.
Just a pixel, a hair
Score
away.
Just hopped up in the air and it went underneath him, I guess.
Well, SK Telecom doing a very good job of responding to the pressure of the KT Bullets right here, punishing them for the decisions that they're making. And they may take the second turn of the game as well, so they're absolutely foiling the Bullets strategy this game.
Yeah,
they've taken a pretty substantial lead.
They're looking really good. I mean, they had a lead last game too, but it was not this extensive at this point.
Yeah, and it's just the team compositions, though. This game, the KT Bullets really did need to get more of a lead early because that's just what their composition excels at. And when you get into late game skirmishes, I'd take SK Telecom's champions.
Whoa, Insect getting dove. He doesn't have his passive, and that means he doesn't have much of a chance. Under turret goes down. Mondu taking a couple turret shots, being very helpful. There goes the turret, and it's now 3-0. Mafa getting caught by the cocoon, and Impact putting more damage on Faker. Coming in with that Spirit Rush. Mafa very low. Ignite doesn't do it. Yes, it does. They get the kill. So that's 2 kills and a turret for SKT.
And SK Telecom, they had a lot of opportunities to think about this Gragas fast push composition since the finals. They had trouble with it before, but they're coming up with a way to beat it. In that they're making, if we notice the game plan here, they've basically formed a roaming gang squad because they know they have the better skirmish. So they're making very heavy rotations into the lanes as they push up and making sure they can assassinate those targets before they can put damage on the towers themselves or finish them off. And all of a sudden, against a composition designed to fast push, we see the outer ring of turrets going down first for SK Telecom because they're creating picks and then turning that into objectives. And now it's an even bigger problem too.
Look at the replay of that fight near the bottom turret.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty standard stuff, and I want to continue on with this line here. But coming in, we see when they try and push up here, just absolutely going after them like we're seeing right now with Impact. Deep plays from Faker and Impact because they have this Elise, they have this Ahri, they have these very strong duelists. So when you're playing the fast push composition and you have all your outer turrets down early, you're suddenly even more exposed to the assassins. Further to run, you still have the same goals in mind in terms of sieging towers, but just not as safe of an opportunity to do it. And SK Telecom has a substantial gold lead and turning that into some very scary items in Deathfire Grasp and Blade of the Ruined King.
Well, interestingly enough, Faker with only 1 assist all game long, but getting pretty good farm. And yeah, now that he has that DFG, he's going to be able to really light up people, specifically Mafa. If I was Mafa, I would be very afraid after hitting tab at this point.
Yeah, and KT Bullets now grouping very heavily in order to deal with this. They know they need to stay as a unit because there's just nobody who's going to be able to split push against either Ahri, Vayne, or even Elise right now. Elise, we can see Impact opting for that, haunting guys to give him even more magic penetration. And Insect, though he does have the Spirit Visage, he's still going to have a few troubles with the Spider Queen.
Absolutely. Namely that when spiders have babies, there's like thousands of them.
That's very troubling.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the ward's going down now. SK Telecom, they've got the pick comp. They need that vision advantage, but they're not really overplaying this too much. They're mostly trying to split push and playing pretty shallow in terms of the lane right now. They're just looking for that opening and trying to keep their towers alive.
Well,
Ryu!
Oh, they do trap Faker against the turret. There's Ace in the hole. Faker survives it, though. Got a little bit lucky. The explosive cast knocked him into the turret rather than back out from underneath it. Lucky break for Faker there.
Now, Impact there with Bengi to stop any further pressure.
Yep.
And they're starting to group up, Doa.
Yes, they are. Oh, nice Aqua Prison locking up Insect before he can slingshot in. That was crucial, actually. Q misses Ryu there. His ultimate is down, as we just saw it used.
And that goes to show how important that ward in the mid lane is when you're trying to clear wards, because you need that vision to either side in order to make sure that you're a little bit more safe and you're not going to get picked off, especially by a long-range engaged champion such as Zac.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, Nami is a pretty good anti-Zac pick. You can do what Mondu did. You can Aqua Prison him because he's kind of stuck in place for a moment when he's going to slingshot. You can also use Tidal Wave as well to kind of keep him from maybe getting as far into the back lines as he would otherwise. So, yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good counter and supports for SKT.
Yeah, that the Tidal Wave will really, really help against that, Zac. That's 100% correct. And most importantly, because it allows, if you can hit more members besides Zac,
right,
you're going to be able to pick Zac off with Vayne before the follow-up engage comes from the rest of the KT Bullet.
Yeah, at the very least, even if Tidal Wave does not stop him from coming in, he's going to be coming in by himself, like you said, because you're going to be hitting other members.
And we can see Score, too. He's going for the static shift first build, which is something he did with Tristana in the finals in order to push lanes as hard as possible in the mid game, but that only works if you're already ahead. And so now Caitlyn is effectively useless in any kind of duel or team fighting situation. And I don't really think there's a way the Bullets can come back from this.
Oh, Faker activating that Spirit Rush. Man, the reflexes have got to be insane for that guy. You don't see Zac until he appears, you know, coming over the wall.
You have to see there's a shadow that forms where he's actually going to drop. So if you have a sharp eye,
that's right,
you may be able to pick it up.
I'd imagine Faker has a pretty sharp eye. Oh, actually, they try to get Insect. The charm doesn't connect, though.
They're just trying to bait this Baron a little bit. They can do it pretty fast, but no need to take the risk yet. They know they are absolutely in control of this game at this point.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing that can really stop their split pushing. But they're going to go for it anyway.
Wow, yeah. Clearing out the wards, and they're going to
back off immediately.
Yeah, I was going to say, Elite's coming back now. No teleports on the SKT side, so a little bit too dangerous to reinforce that. Insect has to run away after taking a lot of damage from Piglet.
That may prompt the Baron now because they've taken such a huge hit onto Insect that he's going to have to recall. Instead, they're going to the jungle, though. Try and create some picks. And maintain their vision control, which is pretty darn impressive right now if you look at that red side jungle.
Yep, and now pounding on that middle turret. Ryu coming in. Is he going to be able to get a good explosive cast off? Just content to push him away for now. That turret very low. Wow, a tense game right now, but even if KT Bullets got a really good engage, it'd still be very difficult for them to win a team fight.
I think SK Telecom reacted beautifully to the strategy coming out of the KT Bullets. They knew that they would see probably another attempt at something similar to what beat them, of course. KT Bullets going to try and deal with that, but SK Telecom, they turned around that fast push in the finals as well with a lot of these assassin champions, and I think the KT Bullets need to mix it up a little bit more. They had such success with assassins of their own last time. I just don't think that this style is going to be successful because SK Telecom has figured out how to play against it.
Yeah, I agree. It certainly does seem apparent, but it is cool. I feel like you know, we're seeing like game 1 and 2 obviously, but I feel like we're almost also seeing like games 6 and 7 of like a continuation of the World Championships. The strategies the teams are adapting. are certainly evolving right along with all this. Very cool.
Well, SK Telecom, look how cautiously they're playing this too. In spite of this giant lead they have, Faker now with Void Staff as well. He will be able to take out nearly anybody except for maybe Insec in one rotation of his cooldowns. And they need the vision so they can get that one pick that will enable them to do the Baron. Haven't found it yet.
Yeah, well, KT in their own jungle right now. And SKT just clearing out more and more wards. They've got the vision control now.
I'm actually really surprised, though, that they don't just go for it. There is no damage on KT bullets right now. None. Athene's first on Ryu. Hasn't completed the death cap yet. And we have the static shiv and a slow build into Infinity Edge on Score's Caitlyn. So there's just no way that the KT bullets can go toe-to-toe with the number of assassination items that are currently loaded up onto SK Telecom T1.
Yeah, I think they're just really, really worried. You know, they just really want to make absolutely sure that they can do it. And, you know, they may be trying to bait a little bit of a fight, too. We'll see.
This is overly cautious play from T1.
And now they're going for it. Okay, so here comes the Baron. The Zyro plants are in the pit, though, so they know it's there. Baron getting lower and lower. Lee Sin, a great Baron stealer. And will they be able to do it? There comes a cast. There's a tidal wave to try to help them secure it. And Bengi coming over the top in the middle of everything. Here we go. Zyro ultimate comes down. Piglet tumbling into the fight, trying to do damage. Score on the outside, taking a lot. Insect force out. There's the charm to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, Cacao goes down. Piglet still nearly full health. 2 for 2. Make it 2 for 3. I'm sorry, that is 2 for 2 still.
Yeah, but they have the carries alive. And right there, the reason why SK Telecom, they needed to make the pick first is because Ryu's burst on Gragas over the wall is a very easy way to steal Baron. There's no way you can smite secure that. So if Gragas can get the barrel roll into the explosive cask, and there we go, Piglet still at full HP here, just melts Score.
Score not at full HP anymore. He gets the turret and he has time to kill Score. Just because, you know, I mean, might as well be efficient. 2 birds with 1 stone and all that.
So it's always, always, always very dangerous if you're trying to take Baron as blue team against a red team Gragas for that reason. It's not the jungler's fault if he misses that smite simply because there's just no way he can outdamage the Gragas combo.
Yeah. And so now SKT just making sure the lanes are pushed up. Let's watch that Baron fight again.
Yeah, SK Telecom trying to bait this. You'll notice they pull off as it gets pretty low right there because KT Bullet's waiting for the steal. They know they can get it. Piglet here, there's a bit of a mistake. Piglet could have cleaned this fight up just a little bit more. You'll see he starts kiting Insect once he gets into the back lines. And Faker and Piglet both start chasing Zac. And right here, Piglet probably should have turned around and followed up Impact and let Faker just deal with Insect down here with Mondu. But instead, he does get tied up, and Impact also manages to go down right there because KT is able to turn onto Elise because there's no other threat in the 3-on-1. So a little bit of a positional misplay there by Piglet doesn't allow SK Telecom to win as hard as they could have.
Yeah, well, it's coming in. And a crucial little miss at the beginning of that fight, too. The charm from Faker just pixels away from hitting Score. And if that had happened, I think that fight would have turned out much differently, too.
Yeah, Score, we can see right there, the gold totals, nearly 3,000.
Oh, wow.
Behind. And Faker, with the Haunting Guys, just maximum magic penetration from this Ahri.
Yeah. Bengi caught up a little bit. He's going to back away from the fight. And here we go, Deja Vu. SKT, though, sending Faker into that mid lane. Zoning out Ryu just a little bit. He's going to have to go back, though. Yeah, he's going to have to be a little bit more safe. We're joining his team by the Baron pit. And will we see another Baron attempt?
Oh, they need to kill Gragas. They can't do it.
I think that's what Faker's job was, but Ryu knew he just backed off enough. And there we go. They're going to jump onto Piglet. Oh, Piglet way out of position. Can he get away, though? Nice tumbling. Nice tidal wave over the top. And suddenly Bengi and Impact in the middle of everybody. Double kill for Faker already. And this could be a near perfect ace. Triple kill for Faker. And Insect looks like he might escape, but that's going to be an inhibitor. That's going to be whatever SKT wants it to be.
And when you have an Ahri with this much magic penetration, look at the magic resist on the KT bullets. Do you see any? Only Spirit Visage and Merc Treads on Insect only. So in this case, the Chalice as well. But coming in here, he knows if he just builds straight magic penetration that he's just going to hit like a truck, and you can see how much damage his AoE was doing in that team fight.
Incredible. I mean, and what a great tidal wave from Mondu right down the corridor there. That was the absolute worst place for KT to be fighting against Tsunami. Let's check it out one more time.
Yeah, and you can see they really want to kill Ryu here. That's why Piglet tries to go in on him, even though he doesn't know where Insec is as he pops over from the red pit. Great tidal wave to tie it up. This helps keep Piglet alive for a little bit longer. But watch Faker around the side here. You'll notice he assassinates Syra immediately, as is his wont. And then coming in just from the side, dealing tremendous damage with the Spirit Rush at Insec.
Faker just lit up Insec. It was too fast for the human eye to perceive.
Well, that was certainly surprising.
Yeah, if he can do that to Zach with a Spirit Visage right now, you know he's doing a lot of damage.
I don't think there's any question about that. Picked up a large rod as well.
Yeah.
On his latest back to bolster his AP a little bit. We'll take a look at that replay, I'm sure, in just a couple of seconds.
Not caring about Spirit Visage. Things that Faker does. Things Faker does.
Okay.
And so Maffa's died 5 times this game. I wonder how many of those have been Faker on Ahri. Hopefully somebody out there is keeping track. Even though Maffa
Faker
probably
hates
doesn't want
plants.
to. He does. He hates Earth Day. All right, there's another Baron attempt for SKT. They're going to give it a shot. Kakao, everybody right there. It's a little bit of a risk. Zach nowhere to be found, though. He's way up in the top lane, and they just needed to give this up, maybe. Yeah, Benki coming in. There we go. They're going to jump on to score. Impact doing a lot of damage. Maffa locked up a bit. Insect now joins the fight. There's a tidal wave. Hits Maffa a bit. Fight very spread out. Faker locked on the zone in the back lines. They do get Maffa. Faker running from Zach. They're going to check 2 into the Cataclysm. A double kill for Impact. Kakao trying to clean that one up. Oh, Zach gets some revenge, though, on Faker. Kakao, though, taken down. And Insect finally goes down to Piglet.
Nice use of the barrier right there. And Piglet, a little bit of trolling there as he cleans up that last little chunk of Zach. Ryu, the only survivor from the KT Bullets. And again, they're trying so hard to bait this Baron because they just want to chase down Ryu. They want them all in one location. Look at the ward coverage in that top jungle.
Oh, wow.
SK Telecom, they are playing this one so cautiously.
Well, they get another turret out of it after winning that team fight, and now they're a good 13,000 gold in the lead. And still looking good.
You know, Doe, with these constant 5v5 engages and heavy priority on team fighting in this game, it actually feels a lot like watching the Chinese teams play. This is how
yeah, you're right.
They really like to go at it and kind of ram into each other head-to-head with 5v5 team fights.
Oh, it's entertaining. I'll give them that. All right, well, let's watch that fight again.
Yeah, Faker comes in from the side. Nice Cyril. Actually, Piglet is just here getting killed by Baron in the pit. You can see he nearly dies to Baron as his team just ditches him. So a bit of a sloppy turnaround right there from SK Telecom. Everybody saying, yeah, it's time to go. And Fate's like, what about me? I can't get over the wall.
You can tumble. It's okay. It turned out fine. And there's a Baron now. And will this one be contested again? There's Ryu immediately. They see him with the wards. Maybe third time's the charm. I don't know.
This is the most ridiculous. It's like, this is the power of Gragas. That is what you guys are watching right here, is what Gragas does to.
Oh, there's the Alchemist. Operation Get Gragas is successful. Faker gets that one. Bengi in the middle. Nice Cataclysm to split up the team. A little bit rocked. They do get Baron, though. Impact locking that one up. And now Piglet going to chase everybody down. Score, not a chance that he's going to be able to duel Piglet. Insec. Oh, there's a trap. Oh, wow, they get him. Insect coming in. Score now has the ability. Piglet, can he get away? Oh, don't step on traps, kids.
Yeah, and that also gave him vision in the brush right there as well. In order to finish him off with the autos. Couldn't get the cover that he needed. Faker continuing to push up that mid lane, though, and with the Baron, it was another sloppy fight from SK Telecom right there, actually, because Bengi left the pit, which nearly allowed Kakao to steal the Baron because he immediately went into the pit when Jarvan left. And it was really close there. The rest of SK Telecom turned on Lee Sin immediately, but it was nearly a bad scenario for T1.
Well, I mean, SKT just so far ahead right now. They can kind of do almost whatever they want. It's kind of funny.
No, they wait for Piglet to come back up. They do have that open inhibitor.
Whoa! Ryu not going to survive this one. Man, Faker does a lot of damage.
What happens when you're 7-1-7?
Guess so.
295 CS on Ari.
You know, at this point, you really just have to ban Ari against Faker. You cannot let him have it. Oh, Kakao coming in, though. There's ace in the hole. Operation Get Faker now. Not quite as successful. They're going to come in, though. Kakao in a bit of trouble here. Tries to get away. Doesn't make it. Mandu getting the bloodthirsty support kill there. Insect still chasing people back. Score adding some damage from the outside. Mafa there with the roots trying to wrap people up. They do get Nami. Impact coming in as well. Faker still adding damage to Charm. Nice dodge by Insect. Bengi wants to finish off. Can he do it? There's the Q. There's the slow Impact. Wants to deal Bengi. Duel Bengi, rather. And they're still going to duel. Wolves feeling very ignored right there. Oh, Piglet, here he comes.
SK Telecom, though, is playing out this game extremely strangely. Like,
yeah.
I'm not really sure what's going on with their play calling right here because they appear to lack a bit of a plan. Faker going for the blue buff while we see Bengi kind of chasing Insec around. And
wow.
They should just go for this inhibitor.
They should, yeah, but it's too late now. Wow.
Faker pops Spirit Rush. He wants Insec. Goodbye.
Yeah, oh, he walked into a Jarvan. And there we go. Insect finally goes down. That was a long chase. SKT, what's going on? They're going to get Dragon instead.
I'm really surprised they won't just close this game, though.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Maybe they're trying to just torture KT to death. They're trying to break them mentally or something. I don't know. I don't know, man. Next level mind games, right? Maybe they'll bore them to death. See, Ryu already was nodding off a bit, so if they can extend the game long enough, he may actually just fall asleep and they'll have trouble waking him up. That's the plan. It all becomes clear now.
Just preying on the player weaknesses.
That's right. They're like, well, guys, it's going to be 5v4 then, so we'll be all set.
Might as well.
Yep. All right, well.
SK Telecom may actually get an inhibitor this time.
Maybe. Maybe. And there we go. Yeah. Insect is there. He's very, very low. Oh, Charm misses again. And that inhibitor low but not dead. There it finally goes. They do get it. Safeguard over the score as Kakao thought he was going to get caught by that cocoon. He nearly did get caught. And they're just going to get the second inhibitor if they can. Ryu coming down the inhibitor. Very, very low. They have to finish it off. They do finish it off. Ryu knocked back. There we go. Tidal wave over the top. Lee Sin dead already. Insect coming to the back lines. Faker. Can he get away? Yes, he can. Mandu in a little bit of trouble there. Zyre Ultimate not quite hitting anybody. And now Faker and Piglet should be able to clean this up. Bengi helping out with the knock-up on score. And there's a Cataclysm to trap Ryu. Not quite enough, but it's going to be plenty for SK Telecom to finally, well, maybe finish off this game. Mandu, though, dying to that Nexus turret. There's Ryu. Whoa, everybody dying Nexus turrets. There we go, Faker. Yeah, Ryu made the mistake of stepping out of the fountain, so he dies. And GG, SK Telecom ties it up. It was a messy affair, but hey, a win is a win is a win, and SK Telecom got one.
They did. They got it on the back of their plays once again, using those assassins to really shut down the fast push. Very nice rotations and ganks in the mid game with Bengi and Faker. Set him up for that late game success. And it may have taken a while to close it out, but we're tied up 1-1 here.
Yes, we are. We knew it was going to be a good series. SK Telecom not going down without a fight. And it is still wide open. I think it's still impossible to predict how this one's going to go. Either one of these teams is going to be at the World Championships. Is it going to be SK Telecom? Is it going to be KT Rolls for Bullets? Well, Insect prefers it would be KT.
You know, Doa, I really feel like SK Telecom should go back to playing maybe some Ezreal. They really wanted to deny that Caitlyn pick the last game, but didn't work out. They couldn't get the turret damage down early on, and it just doesn't seem to be Score's forte. Yeah,
well, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, another game between SK Telecom T1 and KT Bullets. Victory for SKT in game number 2. More excitement to come. SK Telecom looking a bit pensive still after that game. They know it was a bit messy. Faker, though, ended up going, what was it? Let's see. He was 10-1 and 10. The double-double. And more action coming up After this, don't go anywhere. This is OGN.